Hi there guys, today I want to do a video talking about my online dating experience and what that's been like for me. So I actually joined about 4 years ago. I joined up a Christian dating site called Christian Cafe, and I started to talking to a person in Africa. And he was a few years younger than me, but you know, he was kind of really interested in me. But obviously, I mean, we live in like totally different countries. And then we started talking on Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp, and we just like chatted quite a while. And then we lost contact, but he recently connected with me again. And I'll say we're more friends than actually, you know, anything. I don't think that's actually anything's actually gonna happen with that. Yeah, just because we live in like totally different countries, and I would say that's more of a friendship than a relationship. And anyway, I also joined Christian Connection and had a 3-day trial, and I waved at a few people, and but I never actually chatted to anyone because I didn't have a paid membership. And some people waved at me and liked me, but because I didn't have a membership, and I was just a bit actually scared to do anything. So that was about 4 years ago, 2018. Anyway, this year I was dissatisfied with being single. I wanted to be loved, you know. It seemed like everyone around me is going into relationships, and I feel depressed and stressed, and like, why, Lord, why haven't you sent the guy? You know, why haven't you sent me a husband? Because I feel that I am not called to be single. I know that I'm called to be married, and I'm just waiting patiently, and I was just getting a bit impatient. Anyway, in February 2nd this year, I finally decided to sign up and pay for 1 month membership in Christian Connection. And I liked a few people, and I started chatting to one guy who was also a subscriber that I realized that I actually waved to him 4 years ago, and he liked me 4 months ago. So pretty much on that day I liked him back, and he messaged me on Christian Connection, and we started chatting. And then he gave me his phone number, and we kind of finalized a day that we would meet in person. And we started texting back and forth, and you know, texting on his number. And then we both connected, and we actually met up for one time. We went to a local cafe and we chatted for about an hour and a half, and I was on cloud 9. I felt so happy. I seriously, back then I thought I had met this guy, and this guy is the man of my dreams. Like, we had so much in common, and I was just so happy. And I was just like, wow, this is so amazing, and I love that feeling. Anyway, we continued to chat on text message, and literally the day we met up, his name popped up on Facebook, and I was like, wow. I messaged him. I was like, I just found you on Facebook, and I found that amazing. Like, I like my friend's suggestions, and I took that as a sign. So anyway, I added him, and then I sent him a picture of me because he couldn't find me. And we like chatted on Messenger like every day, and even on the phone twice on the Friday. So like every morning I say, hey, how's it going? You know, have a nice day. And then the night, or like, how was your day? You know, sleep well and stuff. And I was just so happy. Yeah, and then he called on the phone once on the Friday because he said he was driving and it was too hard to text back. So he called me, and we talked for quite a while, even though the connection wasn't the greatest. And then another time, he's like, oh, I can call you on the Friday because it was just easier that way to like text rather than texting back and forth. So yeah, I felt like I could tell him anything, and I was actually quite chatty, which is kind of unusual for me because I'm actually really shy, and we only like chat chat quite a bit with, I know someone and I'm really comfortable with them. So like on the date and stuff, there was a few little awkward silences. Like one stage it was kind of just like sitting there, and then it's like, sorry, I'm not really chatty, and I was like, no, it's okay. It's like, if I think of something I'll say it. And then another time he was like, oh, do you have any questions for me? And then I think he started asking me all questions. And then even on the phone once, he's like, sorry, I'm not a really chatty person. I was like, oh, don't worry, I'm not either. And what I felt about this guy is we had so much in common. Like, he knows people I know, and like my sister's boyfriend's dad was his teacher in high school and everything. So, you know, I just felt this great connection, and you know, I just started feeling like, okay, I shouldn't be getting ahead of myself, but I also felt like, you know, maybe this could be the one. Like, you know, the next step. Yeah, I just felt so comfortable and so relaxed around him, and I felt that, you know, the next step will be in, you know, announcing boyfriend and girlfriend, meeting his family whenever he's Perth. But then I also kind of felt like, oh, what happens if he meets someone else, or he doesn't like me as much as I like him? Yeah, I just couldn't stop thinking about it, and it was the best couple of weeks of my life. But the thing that worried me, that he didn't, yeah, maybe he didn't like me as much as I liked him, and that we lived so far away. But then I kept on telling myself, you know, if this is God's will, then it will work. And yeah, we just had so much in common, and I just felt, well, yeah, the only thing I was worried about, because he had recently moved away. So he was living, originally up until last year, he was living with his family, and I think about 40 minutes away from here. Then he moved just a few months ago somewhere 2 hours and 45 minutes away from Perth. So that's what worried me a little bit, but I was like, you know, if it's God's will, it will work, it will work. Anyway, on the 20th of February, he sent me a message, and it actually absolutely broke my heart. He said that he thought the distance will make things too difficult for us, and you know, I was shocked and I was a bit upset about it, but I also understood where he was coming from, because that was one of my concerns too. But I couldn't reply straight away, and I had to sleep on it. But my mind was racing all night, and I replied the next day, you know, and good thing I had not told many people. And it hadn't been a long time, otherwise it would have been much worse for me. However, you know, as I was writing those things, I was still like in tears. I felt so happy that someone had finally had feelings for me, and I felt so loved. But now I was just feeling so unlovable and not really worthy of love. But because I know that I am definitely not called to be single. And yeah, you know, those 2 weeks or so with him, yeah, I was like, yes, this is me. You know, I'm not called to be single, God, and God brought him into my life. And I just felt that, okay, maybe the timing wasn't correct. Like, if he still lived in Perth, if this had happened last year, then maybe something would have happened. But last year I just wasn't ready to sign up for a membership. And then 4 years ago he said, you know, he was actually dating someone else. And to me, like, yeah, maybe things it may not have ended up in marriage, but you know, at least there would have been a connection there, because there definitely was something. Anyway, before my subscription was finishing, I started talking to another guy, but straight away I kind of felt that, no, this is something didn't feel right. So he kind of messaged me and liked me, but he didn't have a full membership, so I gave him my phone number, and then he messaged me on there, and then we talked on WhatsApp. But then straight away I felt like, no, something's wrong. Something didn't feel right with him. It just felt a bit off. It didn't feel the same as I did with the first guy. Yeah, I just felt like it was a bit weird and judgmental. because he didn't reply to the messages, and then he was a bit like asking me about like what I do for a job and everything. And then like, yeah, in the end I basically said to him, I was like, oh well, you know, if that's the way you feel, then yeah. And then we haven't chatted since then. He was just like, oh, you know, I think he was a really career orientated person, and he kind of judged me on that, and I felt straight away like, no, I can't take things further with him. So anyway, that was, yeah, that was in February, and it's now the end of March, but I haven't gone on anymore. You know, I'm kind of waiting on God's timing, but I also feel that, you know, I want to be married, and I want to do it soon. And I've been so patient, and you know, I'm just praying and waiting on God's timing. I know that I'm not called to be single. I know that's not me. I'm definitely not called to be single. I've always seen myself as a mom and being married and everything, and I just know that I'm not called to be single. So I'm praying and trusting in God that my guy will come, and he will come along soon. So anyway, I just thought I'll come on here and just do a quick talk about my experience on online dating, because it is actually not as scary as it thought. Like, obviously I was a bit nervous because you can meet dodgy people, but so far my experience has been pretty positive, actually meeting in person. And yeah, so thanks guys.